I am a new alternate. appointed
And
today.
welcome
Thank
to
you.
our group.
Cindy Pecos, alternate.
Jenny Lucas, member.
Garrett Levy, chair. And John will be with us in a moment. So, we had several batches of minutes to review. We had 3 drafts for everyone to review. I hope you had a chance to briefly scan them. Are there any questions, any discussion about them? The first one was March 1st.
Do you want me to go over the changes you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Charles sent me some just tiny things for each of them.
But you did final on this.
Oh, I did?
And Becca.
I didn't
Wait a
mean to
minute.
write final.
We, and I've forgotten which one.
Oh, no, I wrote
Oh,
that.
wait a moment.
Becca's almost.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, never mind.
So March 1st, Charles just added for attendees Dylan Tucker and Mark Dakota. I don't know why I managed to miss that. And that was it. Those are the only 2 changes for March 1st.
First, okay. So we can approve them all together, or we can
Move to approve.
move to approve
The minutes from March 1st.
from March 1st.
Okay.
I'll
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Any further discussion? Sorry, Becca.
Sorry.
Let's
Okay.
move on to the special meeting of March 6th. If I remember correctly, they were mostly discussions about the 13 acres, 13.5 acres.
And then once again, some changes from Charles. He added, Brooke Wakefield was there, the director of the rec department, so I added her. And then, in like the middle of the page where the 3 bullets are, the 3rd bullet, he changed, the town has stated that it doesn't have to follow its own zoning ordinances. He suggested changing it to the town may not have to follow its own zoning ordinances. Which is fine with me, 'cause it's about the same
That's
thing.
semantics. The way it was worded. I didn't think the town would approve of that wording. But how was it worded? What was the
I
reason?
had, the town has stated that it does not or doesn't have to follow its own zoning ordinances, which is true, but it also is true that they may not have to
Right,
follow.
it just,
Sounds better.
may not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was,
May not, yeah, it's a little more, so,
that was it from that one. I don't know if anyone else
right.
has any other.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions about March 6th draft of minutes? Want to make a motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
So approved. And the last one is the March 13th. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just taking notes. Okay, and then on March 13th.
And before you go any further, my compliments for putting together those minutes since you were going from the recording.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah,
They're probably a little more lengthy because I don't know, I wanted to make sure I covered everything. So just a few suggestions again from Charles. He added that Paul and Terry Stutzman, members of the public, were attending via Zoom. So I added via Zoom. And then let's see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th bullet point down, that begins Charles surmised. He changed his language. He said it would be more of an exercise against future liability rather than more of a CYA exercise, which was your exact language.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
I said that in a public meeting.
Yes, you did.
it's on record.
But he wishes to change it to more of an exercise against future liability, which is the same.
For the
thing.
record, I would prefer it that.
Is that appropriate to do when he's quoted as saying CYA?
I think you can paraphrase, yeah.
I think he said it softly.
Oh.
Maybe the Zoom
Got
didn't.
picked up.
There's no insult.
It jumped out at me because, and then on the second page, I just misspelled Freeze, Bob Freeze's name, so he corrected that for me. And then the next one down, instead of Charles wonders, he suggests Charles questioned if the town should wait and do due diligence because it might miss out on the opportunity to another buyer. So just a couple of small grammatical things. That's it.
Somebody else's turn.
All right, make a motion.
I move.
I
I move to approve.
I said,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. All right,
Point of order.
yes,
You need to reelect your officers because your board has technically changed,
okay,
so you would. It's okay to keep the same slate, but you should have something in your minutes where you have.
oh, yes, All right,
elected
so-
officers.
we'll review our new slate of officers.
If
okay.
you would like to.
All right, I don't have the dates in front of me, but. Who has the new list?
It would be just like who's going to be the
Who's gonna be the
chair.
chair, who's gonna be
Okay,
the vice
vice
chair,
chair,
who's gonna be the secretary?
All right, so Garrett Levy as chair. Jen Lucas as vice chair, not co-chair. Vice chair. Cindy Pecos as new member. No,
No,
sorry.
Just the
alternate.
secretary, that's all you need is the three,
Who's,
if you,
Okay,
so you would. Technically, you would ask for nominations of the officers, you can keep them the same as what they currently are. If you want to, but someone should make a motion to do that.
I make a motion to reappoint Garrett Levy as chair of the
Second.
Conservation Commission.
second? Approve? All in favor?
oh.
Aye.
All in favor?
All in
Aye.
Aye.
Wonderful.
okay, so. Can
We can make a
Someone
motion to,
make a motion,
There you go, John.
make a motion to.
nominate Maureen
Nominate. Jenny as the vice chair,
Yes, as
Vice chair.
and
And-
second, on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the secretary.
This is secretary.
Oh,
No.
Anybody want to be secretary?
think
I mean, I've been doing
Jenny's
it.
been doing
yeah,
it.
same,
Go
she's
for it.
been vice chair and
Yeah.
secretary, so
I don't know if that's,
what can we do?
Whatever you wanna do.
We're the boss?
We're the boss?
Okay,
You're the boss.
okay.
Is Jenny willing to?
I'm willing to
Very
continue taking them.
Good, thank you.
I move to appoint Jenny as secretary of the Conservation Commission.
We'll have to give her a raise though.
Absolutely.
I'll second that.
I double her salary.
Triple.
At least.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Confirmed.
And,
We'd like to welcome.
do we, okay, we'd like to welcome Paul Ricotta as our new alternate.
Right.
So we have 2 alternates and 5 members. Okay,
Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Good.
Thank you.
Why don't, should we give Paul a little brief on what,
Well, I was just
Why
gonna ask
doesn't he
Paul
give us a
to
brief
just,
on his
yeah, tell us
background?
about him.
You're interested?
Why you're interested?
Oh, well, I was recruited by Erit and we've been talking about it for a little while. And that's just a nice way to get involved and volunteer on something that is of interest to me as a resident of Watermill Valley. My background is in civil engineering. So I do that. That's my job. So I figured, this might be a good match for my interests and just to give back a little bit to the community. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Good.
So
we're happy to have you.
I'm happy to help in whatever ways I can, so.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. More fuller
Yes,
board, yeah.
yes,
so Paul, just so you know, I'm an ex officio with the planning board, so what goes on here, I report to the planning board.
Okay.
And vice versa. That's anything that's important there, I bring it here.
all right. Okay, so we have a few minutes for privilege of the floor. If there are any questions, comments,
See someone.
You're good?
Yeah.
You're good. Okay. So let's quickly do old business first, because we'll probably be tabling some of these. There is no update from Rick just yet on the Snowsbrook project. And in case you didn't know what the Snowsbrook project is, Paul and Deb, that's the big mitigation project that we're working on, hopefully with the Forest Service and Rick Vanderpool. So it's gonna be a multi-year project. We're hoping it'll come through, but it's still winter and they haven't been able to go on the project site, so.
It's
We
a
have to wait.
project that will
I was gonna explain.
create a number of places along for quite a ways up Snow's Brook that will slow the water down, and especially in times of high water and flooding, will force much of the stream to flow out onto its former floodplain. It's now gotten so entrenched that it really can't flow out to the floodplain. And so it just carries all that sediment down into Corcoran Pond.
Mhm.
And the idea is to back it up in some places by trees and brush that will cause some of that water to flow out onto its former natural floodplain and dump much of its sediment there before it gets out to Corcoran Pond, which should save big bucks, we hope, in terms of future dredging.
Yeah, so I think what Mark mentioned was we'll probably need one more dredging.
Yeah, where
Definitely.
we, town meeting approved.
One more.
Right,
for
right.
Engineering work this
Yeah.
year,
Yeah,
to plan a dredging project of some sort.
one more.
And hopefully we can do that, and then this mitigation project will prevent us from having to do it.
Yeah,
But it's only been 14 years
Oh.
since the last time we did it.
yeah. Major savings, several,
Years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
but they're
How
getting,
old am
That's a theme.
I?
2009 was 14 years
Yeah,
ago.
well, did screw it up.
Yeah, Irene
Yeah.
did, yeah.
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 I was on the
Hopefully
planning board
we're
when I
gonna
first
get
did it.
100 years work.
If
Yep.
anyone's interested, I have pictures of that, if anyone's interested in looking at those.
Of the dredging.
Yeah, when the pond was empty and how they ran the
Yeah.
water from
Mhm,
the brook out to
Yeah, I
the
have
dam.
about 200.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some
I think somewhere in the wigwag. is-
really interesting pictures,
mhm.
how they did it.
Project.
So hopefully after this last dredging, the town won't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on the future one.
It was almost 600,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something that would come under the headline of civil engineering?
It would, yes, not exactly the time I do, but yeah. that would be under the
Yeah.
umbrella.
Okay, we're going to table number 2 also. I don't think there's any update on the runoff issues just yet. We'll wait for spring or summer. Number 3 is the update of signs, so we're not going to vote to approve because I think we need some more further discussion on the signs, so.
Yes, I apologize. Steve is in a class today, so he does have. I know he has a mock-up. I just couldn't,
Oh.
I don't know where they
Where
are.
you put it. Okay.
So,
Right,
and I didn't think to get them from him.
Mm.
When we went to class. So
Oh.
we will get those to you. Has he sent electronic copies to everyone on
Yeah.
the board?
Yes.
Did we see them?
The
Yeah.
mock-ups?
yes, he thought we were ready to choose. He gave us 3 examples. But I think most of us liked number 3. The one with the land acknowledgement going this way, not
Okay.
this way.
Yeah.
But I think Charles has questions about, or Rebecca, one of you has questions about whether we,
My
One-
concern is, and I'm glad this is good that we have a chance to discuss it, I appreciate that. My concern is that instead of having 3 choices with the acknowledgement arranged in different ways. I believe there should be a 4th choice that we could vote on, which would not include the acknowledgement on this particular, on this sign for this
Mhm.
purpose. And I would like to have that as a 4th option to vote on.
All right, so we do need to discuss this because I think when we briefly talked about it, that means you want another sign?
No,
And-
it doesn't mean that.
Just
We,
another choice.
we did talk about having another sign. And in fact, the minutes suggest that Becca and I would do it.
Oh, okay.
Another sign, which was nothing to do with identify, it was to explain. Possibly two things. One, what is the Conservation Commission and why does it have this land? And two, maybe something of interest about that piece of land,
Mhm.
which in fact turns out to be of more interest than it used to be because it is by design of the Snows Brook remediation project
Mhm.
to become part of the sort of overflow sediment deposit area. And it's part of it's a wetland and part of it isn't. And it might be appropriate to have a sign somewhere on our greenbelt land there explaining why this is important. So
All right.
there were two issues here. One is, should the land acknowledgement that we all approved and voted for as being part of, I think it came up in terms of explaining, including it on the town report, that we would have that in the section on Conservation Commission,
Master plan.
the master plan decisions.
Mhm.
And we all approve that acknowledgement. Should that appear on this nicely designed sign that we had an outside expert create for us to simply designate this 1.8 acres as Conservation Commission property. And we can discuss this later if you wish, why I don't think it should be on that sign, but I think that should be an option. In other words, three different options with the acknowledgement in fine print arranged in different ways, and a fourth option which doesn't try to put that acknowledgement on this sign. That's my request.
You want to comment?
Well, I'm in favor of having it on
Me too.
the sign. But we can vote, I guess.
Is it too soon to take a vote or?
I guess we'll just see,
We
want
should-
everyone to see. an
How
option.
big
Yeah.
is Steve's mock-up? Is it the
There-
size
there-
that we
it's a 1
talked
foot-
about?
I think it's 1 foot diameter.
Yeah,
We should.
So
we
it's
should
about
look at
this
some-
We should
big.
wait.
I would,
Okay.
I would like to
recommend that you wait.
yeah,
Yes,
I would
agreed.
like to see that before.
Great,
And we will do the 4th mock-up
right, without,
without any,
okay,
and then we can put them out on the table.
okay,
Yeah,
Each one is.
okay, that sounds good.
yeah.
So let's table this item
Till next.
for May,
Okay.
yes?
And we're not gonna get them up. I mean, they can be made very quickly.
Yeah.
By the sign company and
Right.
we can still get them up in the spring.
Sound good?
Do we want to, or need to wait until it's the parcel is surveyed, or are we not
I don't think so.
gonna?
Hmm,
I mean, we should get it surveyed.
Places, right? You're-
We
Right.
have a couple places that we can safely put it on what's really,
When I think we know.
Right, I
we
think
know
that's-
what's What,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
we'll confirm that when we continue talking. Right, 'cause that's a good question.
What was
Do we
that?
need to get it surveyed?
I think we should.
Yeah,
I think
And the
we-
reason why I
we
think we
talked about
should
that
is
last year.
because part of the boundary really is uncertain, and that's the boundary, the long side that borders on what I call the
trail.
mansion.
Yeah.
We really don't know where that
Yeah.
is, and that there's,
Right.
a lot of stuff going on in there.
Right.
And I
Right.
think we should find out where the line is and make
Right.
sure that everything on our
Right.
side of the line
mhm,
no longer gets
okay.
messed up.
Yeah.
So I do recall when I briefly talked to Rick Vanderpool about this. He said, yes, it's tough to find a surveyor right now, but if we wait for the Forest Service to do the survey that's in connection with the mitigation project,
Mhm.
then they'll take care of it. So it's all waiting for that.
Okay.
So
Okay, and you.
I'll
know
make
what
sure.
we're- Piece of property that we're talking about?
Not exactly, or relatively, I think, not exactly.
Yeah.
Specific location, but I can
That
see
way.
that here.
It's just on the other side of Valley Road.
Okay.
And it's right beyond the, one of the tunnels.
Yep, I see it. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Okay.
An update on the WWTF, also known as the
Wastewater. An acronym.
wastewater, we love it. Wastewater
Yeah, I
treatment.
can't say the acronym it stands for, but, yeah, do you want to do you have transfer station as a separate item, or would you like? to do
Same
both?
item.
As-
Same item, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
including transfer station relocation, yeah.
So the wastewater treatment facility itself, we are still in the 90% engineering phase. It looks like it's going to be about another 2 to 3 weeks before we can get a meeting with Department of Environmental Services to review just prior to our submission, and then there's about a month review period that DES will look at the entire plan. Nothing significant has changed with the conceptual layout. It's still a sequencing batch reactor plant. The issues that we're having just keep going back to the permit and the fact the EPA permit for a discharge into the river, and the amount of treatment that we have to do to meet that permit. We are still having problems finding a vendor who will certify their equipment to meet that permit. So we have a staff level meeting with several of the DES folks in the wastewater bureau for next week. We'll talk through options on that, and then a couple or 3 weeks after that, we'll have the meeting with the selectmen. That'll be recorded and be a public meeting where they do the formal presentation of a 90% plan. So we are bumping up against the schedule because there is at least a year's time frame that we're going to need for final design, and we can't begin final design until we get state approval of the 90% plan. So a little bit of a time crunch coming, but we are continuing to try to work through it. It is still in the same location. And we're not making any significant changes to what we've already shared through our briefing times and through town meeting. So we'll keep you guys updated and as we go through the process. We'll provide updates to the selectmen every meeting like we've been doing.
Mark, I heard this week that the EPA from the federal government is putting out money into the states for such a plant that we're doing. Have we applying for that, those monies?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
We've already received $900,000 in direct grant monies towards the design engineering. So that's paid for, more than paid for the design engineering. The balance of those monies will be used for final design. And if there's any money left after that, it'll be used for construction. Yeah. The transfer station piece. So I'm sorry to have my back to the camera, but step over here, it won't be quite so bad. You can see half of me. But none of the pictures, sorry. So, and we will post this once it is approved by the state. So this is our most recent version of the transfer station move. So if you look over here, you can see that we've started clearing some trees down here. We will be building a small ramp to put the construction debris dumpster there. And we'll be enclosing all the dirt area where the trees have been cut down. We'll be enclosing all of that with fencing, because it's all fenced up
Yes.
above, right?
Right.
So we have to take everything from up above. We have to move it down here for the summer
Okay.
so that the contractors can work up there and build this. Once this is built, all of that will be taken out, including the dumpsters and the red sheds,
Yep.
and it will all go up here
Okay,
for this layout.
okay.
This has been approved by Waste Management Bureau at DES. So we have, this is Tecumseh Road, the entrance. There's the current driveway into the property management company will be closed off and discontinued. And they will use the same one access point. And this, we will build this driveway for them so that they can no longer use this, because we didn't want two driveways to be so close. So one access way in.
Yep.
Gonna come in here, there's gonna be a gate right here that, and we'll have hours of operation. Haven't set those yet, but it will be controlled access and the fence will go all the way around this. So you'll come in this way, the attendant will be here in a new attendant shed. The windows will be on this side and this side, so she can see in both
You're gonna have
directions.
windows?
Yes. It's gonna be heated and it's going to have a
In the
bathroom.
window.
Yeah.
Don't have to use a porta
Good,
potty.
good.
So
Steve will be
Good,
happy.
good for her. Jen is very happy.
Another one. Yeah,
So, so the attendant shed will be here, you'll come in, the dumpsters will be lined up along here. And these arrows will actually be painted on the pavement. So you
Okay.
go up around here, dump into the dumpsters. And continue on around the circle. The swap shed, the red shed will be here. For those who want to use it, but she'll be able to see it from her. And then this will be storage for the electric light bulbs and other hazardous type materials will be in here. Contractors can come up, use the outside lane. We will relocate either the burn pile or we'll turn it into a chip pile. We haven't settled with DES whether or not we're gonna continue to burn here or whether we're gonna start using chips. There will be, it'll be silt fenced and it will be protected from having any water leave this area. So to protect in either case. Contractors will go around here. This will be the drop off point. It will be a pole barn. Okay, so about, I think he made it 8 feet high in the back and 10 feet high in the front. Open on all sides, just a roof. There'll be a concrete pad underneath it. Because that's required by DES regulations. That'll be our metal pile, our appliances, tires, and things like that. So that'll all be undercover per the state regulations, which we're currently violating up there. So they'll be able to drive around here. This will be another area with a metals dumpster. For that material. And this will also be a concrete pad area as well. So coming around here. This will be the ramp to the construction debris dumpster. So the contractors or whoever will back up. And then dump into the dumpster, and then the dumpster can be serviced along here.
We have a construction debris dumpster now up there?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do, okay.
Now, will
It's
this,
really not intended for contractors.
Mhm.
We are going to be highly encouraging them when they get building permits for
To get
roof
dumpsters.
roof replacements or whatever, to get their own dumpster
Yeah.
on site.
Right.
This is more intended for your weekend warrior who's
Yeah.
redoing the bathroom
Right.
or whatever,
Okay.
that type of thing.
Okay,
All right, so then everybody comes back out this way. This is going to be controlled access. There will be stickers on vehicles.
okay.
And you'll have to, whether we have a fee for those or how we're gonna handle the contractors. We do not have the written policy yet, but we're working on that.
Another
Um,
question.
yeah.
Has anyone given thought to naming that new way?
No, this is
Off of, one step, to turn left into the
Like-
transfer station,
At a
like,
dump road.
like
they
to
have
the dump, like
Mark's like,
recycle
oh my
way.
God.
no,
We have others, resource
Remember-
recovery way.
remember that this is our temporary
Yeah,
transfer station. Okay. So.
so no,
The
no
other,
name.
the other part of this, now this has to do with the Conservation Commission because it's water. This is all paved. It's
Mhm,
either concrete or it's pavement,
mhm.
okay? And the reason for that is winter maintenance. And
Right.
being able to remember our truck, because of the way we load the dumpsters, the truck has to have a very level area to back into the dumpsters, right? So this is a huge slab of asphalt,
Mhm.
all
Will
right?
it be impervious painting?
No, it won't be because of the need, the weight of our truck. It's got to be regular pavement.
So-
So these are
Drain.
drainage structures, right, with catch basins attached to them. And then they come down here and this whole area will be a detention pond.
Mm,
Okay, so there's a big water feature to
Mm.
this that does not exist right now,
Okay,
that we're gonna be creating. I'm calling it Duck Central because we're trying to get them out of Corbin's. So this is the new.
We'll throw some food in there so
No,
they'll
no
come.
food.
No,
Bad enough.
Mark,
So-
where is the existing stream?
The existing stream is right here.
Yep.
Comes down this way,
Okay, so that,
bordering along Will's
Mhm.
property.
got it.
And this is the bottomless concrete culvert that we were forced into. We had a longer culvert which attached up here to this one. And then it extended way down here, plastic pipe. To get the water through there. However, DES, I guess, thinks that salmon spawn in that stream, and they made us put in a
Everything
bridge.
should be.
This is basically a
Right.
bridge.
I have a question. Overflow, concerns about like large storms coming in. How will that detention pond release? If it should have to release, that's what I was wondering.
Mm,
And
This-
we're
Right.
into the,
Into the street.
okay. Thank you.
And that's sized, that we have a wetlands permit that's already been approved by DES.
Yep.
That takes into account 100-year storms.
Will there be filters on some of those?
No, it'll be a settlement basin, so
Okay.
there's no filtering, it's stopping the water.
In the
that
sediment
detention pond. I believe this is built up and has a grate on it,
Okay,
so it'll be up, so there'll be a level of water that's always there.
okay.
So that the sediment can.
Can settle.
filter.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Shouldn't be much sediment coming. That's.
no, this is all pavement,
Yeah.
so it'll be whatever we put on it for treatment.
You have to think in the winter time, you
Yeah.
know yourself, when we go in, the salt and the sand that we have, I mean, I look at my garage floor when I pull my car in. So it's like,
There
you're
is-
gonna have that issue
Yeah.
there,
Yep.
and it's something that needs to be
And
thought of.
That's all thought of in here, that's what that is.
Good, thank you.
That's great.
Okay, so that is our transfer station. We will be, the surveyor for this project is coming out to flag this entrance.
Mhm.
And whatever else needs to be cleared in this area. So that'll be done this week. And then, our guys will be going up, while we have a chipper, and we'll be taking the trees down. For this entrance and, for up here, as long as their size. You know, they took down a couple of pretty big trees over here, so I think they can handle everything up in this area, but we do have to clear out quite a
Quite a
bit of the
bit.
trees here. For this construction.
Is that chipper the towns or we?
No, we rented it.
Okay.
So, whether or not we're going to purchase one, we'll make that decision
Okay.
going forward.
Do you want residents to take any chips away? Or are you using the chip?
We are using the chips
Okay.
there because we have there, it's actually, there's a lot
it's
of
a-
low spots in there, so
Mm.
we're filling in.
Okay.
And with gravel and chips. We just have to get this area so that we can use it through the summer.
If you do, would it be nice that we could use those chips?
Like, mixed use chips?
Well, yeah, no, and that'll be part of the discussion about whether we go to a burn pile or whether we go to chips up here. I think down the road, not on a permanent basis, hear it, don't get excited. This area here, if we build a covered space, that can become something down the road.
We can
You know what that
repurpose-
something
we can
is?
repurpose it.
You know what that something is?
But we will be talking to probably the new DPW when he gets here. so.
Cardboard.
Hired or still
Yeah,
interviewing?
hired. We're still interviewing. We haven't-
Oh, I didn't know
sounds
that.
like a good
Yeah.
idea.
No,
Yeah.
well,
So,
What?
so we do have the two sheds here. Those will be new sheds.
Yeah,
The
okay.
red sheds will go away
okay,
because we can't even move them. So
Right.
they're gonna fall.
they'll
On the
fold.
subject of sheds, there's a shed out here where the AIA keeps its rail maintenance tools.
That'll be one of these.
When should we get those out of there?
Don't worry about it.
Okay,
The existing building unfortunately will be, let me see if I can find it. I think it's going away, because it's at the bottom of the pond. So, yeah, we'll be taking that out, but we'll find a spot for that
okay,
material.
because we can take the tools out if you need to beforehand.
No, we can leave them.
Okay.
We have no
Building.
room. in
We'll
our
find a
condos.
spot.
Yeah,
They'll take care of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
So my question is.
Mhm.
A little deeper.
Yeah.
The new transfer shed that's gonna go up for Jenny,
Mhm.
it's gonna have its own bathroom.
Yes,
Is that gonna be septic or
no, it's gonna be.
you're gonna tie that in?
We are tying it in, we're tying it in, we're bringing electricity, water and sewer
Wow.
onto this site.
Beautiful, okay.
Yeah, so that'll all run along here. And you can see there's light here, there's light here,
Good.
there's light here, all the way around.
Well,
Mark-
okay.
Mark, are those, is the dump going to be open every day of the week? Like,
No.
good, okay.
No,
Good.
There, I don't know when it will be open yet.
Uh-huh.
That'll be a staffing
Yep.
issue.
Yep.
Because if we stay just with Jen, then it'll be open probably 3 days a week. And I know that that's not gonna cut it, but we haven't figured
You
out.
get used to it,
Yeah.
though.
Well,
When we were in
some
Maine,
people get,
when we were in Maine and had the property there, it was like 3 days a week.
if everyone was like you, Cindy, I would. love it.
And pay for your permit
Yeah.
through the town, the money goes to the town.
Are we just
Stuff to
not-
read us on weekends.
You be,
They're talking.
talking about.
They're talking
Yeah,
about the staff.
Yeah,
do,
Ours
other
was
towns do, collect the
days.
money.
yes, I mean, you live
Or
with
maybe
it.
even
We
one.
need it.
What's it?
We'll see.
Remus, wasn't it?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Right, so that's, I think, everything, water wise. The water project, is, we are. Well 2 and well 3 have new pumps. They have been tested and have passed their bacteria test with the state. All the pipe is in place. And ready to go. we are now just waiting for communications to be sorted out.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, but well building
Yes.
1 is
Well,
down.
yeah,
And we still need to do some work to collapse the foundation and finish filling in the hole.
Okay.
But that'll be done. And then we're waiting on the generator, which is due in May. So we are getting very close on that.
Good.
Part of the project.
Beautiful.
So,
Thank you.
I can't think of anything else, water or sewer related that. Any
I have
questions?
one question about, back to the wastewater treatment.
Yeah.
plant. When you were talking about the engineers or the engineering company are having a hard time finding a vendor that will certify for our permit. Have they looked at any European companies? Or is
Uh,
that,
Well, no, we have not. We are looking at new technology where we might be able to get a certification. However, that's all new technology to the state, which means there's a piloting program that's required to show that it will do what the vendor says it will do.
wow,
So if the technology is not being used in the state of New Hampshire right now, it adds anywhere from 3 to 6 months to the
To be
time,
piloted.
because you would have to design and run a piloting program for X number of weeks or months to show the state that it'll do what they say it will do. And then part of that problem is finding a place to do that. Because you have to find another SBR plant. And you have to get that community to agree to put your equipment on it. And so there is a lot to it. So we are trying to utilize technology that's already permitted in the state of New Hampshire, but those pieces of equipment are the ones that the vendors will not certify, because our permit is so much more stringent than anyone else's. So we're basically right now looking at 3 different drinking water facilities and attaching those to the back of our sewer treatment. And the drinking water people won't certify to our limit. So yeah,
wow.
it's a little frustrating
Yeah.
because we know that the equipment will do it. It's just nobody will put their
Yeah.
signature on a verification form because they're afraid that if something happens and the equipment doesn't work, then they're on the hook.
So it's a CYA.
Yeah.
It is. It
It's
is.
going in the.
It is a C, I will, you can put that in. You know, it's at all levels. The state
Yeah.
has to sign off on it, the engineers have to sign off on it, the vendor has to sign off, so you have. And then we have to accept it, right? So you have 4 levels of agreement that have to come together. So, when everybody, if we had a limit of 5 or even 2 or 3 total suspended solids limit, we'd already be in final design because everybody is willing to certify to those. But when you go from 2 to 1, everybody says no way. In fact, we've had vendors laugh. Like, you can't possibly, and then we tell them we've been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah.
And they double laugh because they don't believe us. So,
Wow.
but we got the record, so,
And it's hard to be the first in the state.
well,
to
it's
do all
the
this.
only.
The only.
So anyway, we're going
Yeah.
through that and
Yeah. Wow.
hopefully we'll get it taken care of. One other thing, on the line up to the ski area. We are, going through, conceptual design, for a septic system. At
Up
the
there?
ski area,
Mhm.
to get rid of the line. It
Mhm.
would alleviate the line. But we're working on that now.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Whose nickel is the new septic system going to be on?
Well,
Oh,
very gladly ours, because
It'll be a
it's
lot
much
less.
Yeah.
Yes, okay,
And-
okay.
And we can go forward and
all right.
renegotiate maintenance of it as well.
Okay.
So there's a possibility that it could lead to some savings. So
Right.
we're investigating it. We're not, and the Forest Service has not outright said no. They've said, okay, show us,
Mm.
because there are some advantages to not having to maintain the 2
The
miles. of
line.
pipe.
Yeah.
So-
Good.
Fingers
So we'll
crossed.
see, but if it costs a lot less. To build and a lot less to maintain
maintain.
into the future, then I think it's something
We're
that
for
we
it.
should
Yeah.
look at
Great.
and discuss.
Fingers
Okay.
So
crossed.
fingers crossed that we can get that.
Yes,
Mhm. Good.
We're looking at that.
you'd have a lot of happy campers.
Yeah, yeah. 5
Yes.
million, maybe 4 or 5 million
Well, I
extra.
wouldn't say quite that, but
Well, it's gonna be 5 million.
Yeah, if you do,
we
yeah.
build the line.
Yeah,
if we build, but fingers crossed.
Yeah. right. Well,
Septic will
they'll
be
get their
nice.
approval for the new septic system maybe within a month or something.
Oh, no. It's gonna- it's-
Nothing happens. in a minute.
days.
How
In
long
the
is it
state of
taking?
New Hampshire, are you kidding me?
Well, it's the state, but it's also the forest.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
right.
think
Yeah.
realistically, about a year to get
Oh,
the,
boy.
to get the answer.
Mhm.
And then another year to build it. So it's still within our time frame of
Yeah.
the project,
Yeah.
but it's definitely. Something that is gonna give me a few more gray hairs,
Oh,
but hopefully we can get it done because
Yeah.
the
That'd be
line is gonna give us a lot more gray hairs.
great.
Yeah,
That's a
Sure.
good idea.
Good, good.
oh, I hope.
So we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for that.
Good to hear you haven't
Well-
flushed your plans.
Mark's
Waiting, waiting to say that.
Yeah, she's been waiting. Yeah.
Mark's poop house.
Yeah.
Liam pizza.
All right.
That's better
Well-
than WWT.
I love that. No, leave it. We'll leave it for now. Yeah. Yeah. So, item number 5 is just a small follow-up on the election results concerning the 13.5 acres. And all I meant by that was, we're waiting to hear from town council
Yes,
about the possibility that if a private owner purchases the land from Dave Britton and decides to donate it to the Conservation Commission, is that possible? So we're
Fingers
waiting
crossed.
for Mark to hear the word. All right,
See, if we get these permits and we pay for them and you make it good, maybe we can put Dave Britton on a payment plan and buy the land. You never know.
payment plan,
unfortunately, right now, no means no.
No.
So
Mm.
we can't-
no discussion.
Can't even talk about it.
Yeah, no discussion.
So what
So-
are we waiting for on this then, for legal?
Word from town council as
So
to,
there's, state law says that if a town meeting votes no on a separate warrant article,
Mhm.
then nothing can happen for that purpose, as far as the town is concerned. So we had a no vote, right, on
The purchase,
to purchase the
no, to
land.
or to
discuss.
approve negotiations.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. So our question to town council is, if someone came to the town and said, I want to donate this, can the Board of Selectmen or can the Conservation Commission, because of this no vote, can they
Accept.
entertain
Accept it.
that
Mm.
donation?
Would be
This
nice.
Can we,
Because we could always put it on a warrant article.
Next year, right?
And then take it up, but are we frozen in place because of that decision? So that's what we're
Okay.
waiting to hear.
Okay.
all right, okay.
Interesting.
So perhaps we should table this next item. it was the Sierra Club's 12 ways to halt climate change. I think someone brought
We
that up.
have another list.
months
too.
ago.
Well, somebody sent that an email, didn't I see that?
We got a copy of it.
Yeah, Yeah.
So if we have this information, 12 steps, do you want us to make copies and put it up at the post office, or did you want to discuss each item? We can table this for the next meeting, because it's getting a little late.
What,
What's your feeling on this?
what kind of action might we take on this list?
probably
I think
distribute.
maybe we should all get a
Read it.
chance to read it.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send it
Because
again.
I mean, I knew it was on the agenda, but.
Okay, you didn't see this.
I didn't
Okay,
go through it and.
I will make sure you get copies of that, and then we can
Table.
review it and table it for next
So
meeting.
everyone can
Okay.
review it
Yes.
this month
Yeah.
and we can
Right,
discuss. Okay.
good.
Where we distribute.
So we took care of seating of alternates. The number 3 says testing for forever chemicals in our water. We meant to ask you if the test includes PFAS.
PFAS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
PFAS.
Yeah.
No, we did not test specifically for PFAS. There is a state standard. I would have to ask Dylan for the testing schedule on that. We can address that next time if you'd like.
mhm,
Yeah,
There's also,
That'd be good.
we're investigating, well, we're reviewing. It's not really an investigation because they sent us new lead and copper requirements for drinking water.
mhm.
And new rules that have come down from the EPA.
Yeah.
So, we'll just plan to come in May and
okay.
update you
Right.
on those.
Right.
But you're talking about the tests that Dylan did in the river water? Or
Yeah.
what were you specifically asking?
Testing for PFAS in our drinking water.
Drinking water.
Yeah.
Yes, we do in some way, but I don't know what the limits are right off.
Right, and when you say limits, are they EPA or
Yeah,
state
they're-
regulation?
Well, it's a combination of both because the state of New Hampshire has adopted PFAS limits
Okay,
that are different. However, the EPA has come back and now the EPA
Yeah.
has
More restrictions.
halved the
Mm.
limit
Mhm.
again.
okay,
Um, and
Yep.
I don't know what that's gonna mean for our drinking water
all right,
or our testing.
Do
okay,
you think Dylan could come in and talk to us about it?
yeah,
We'll come in.
yeah,
Quite frankly, the limits that are coming down for both lead and copper and for PFAS
Mm-hmm.
are extraordinary.
Mm.
They are extremely going to be
Stringent.
extremely difficult to meet the new requirements.
okay,
Okay.
So
Just to give us
I'm
a general
not even
idea.
sure when
Yeah.
they're gonna, if they're gonna go into effect or when they're going to go into effect.
Yeah.
okay,
There are some pretty stringent requirements.
Hmm.
coming
Yeah.
That are, I don't know how beneficial they are. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to measure some.
oh,
Well, all of a sudden it's in the news.
Yeah.
Yes.
right,
Right. In the
So
news.
we'll have
Yeah.
Dylan come in and talk to
right,
you.
we'll keep track of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
When
thank-
the EPA comes up with a new, limit or whatever. And they send it out to the states, that trumps everything that any state might have in.
Mm, okay, all right. All right. Thank you for that. We have one last item. I've been meaning to bring this up, but it's
So excited. to hear this.
We're
Wow.
very excited.
Yeah.
Anyway.
so.
I can't believe it if it is.
So, but, no, let her
Do
present.
you have the same
Speak.
agenda as I do?
Speak.
I don't
This-
know.
This concerns the bridge behind, the footbridge
Former bridge.
behind Snowy Owl,
Yeah.
the one that got washed out with Irene.
Yeah.
She did so much damage. So I don't know what reaction you have to that. I do know that recent years you talked about all the new regulations when you rebuild bridges now because of 100-year stormwater
It
damage.
sounded like it was
So,
coming.
I don't know if this town has the same restrictions, but there was an article that we sent out, I think we shared, building the bridge in Candia Town Forest. So the Conservation Commission in this town has tried to figure out ways to rebuild the footbridge over that river, New Boston Town Road, in the forest, but had not been successful. In the spring of 2022, the combined volunteer efforts of the Conservation Commission members, neighbors, friends, etc., they built a wooden footbridge and proudly stands today. So I read this and I said, oh, we want that footbridge. We need that trail. What do you think we should do? What
When I-
can we do?
When I was on the planning board and that bridge washed out, we approached the Forest Service.
No, it's not Forest Service,
It's-
it's DES.
Oh.
It's.
Well, we were told no, we
Yeah,
couldn't
were
do
told-
it. We were told
Right.
no.
So I guess if you could do some investigation. And talk to that Conservation Commission. And find out. What process they used, who they spoke with, if you could get designs of the bridge. Because we have asked several times. DES controls bridge construction, even footbridge construction. And they have adamantly said no. They told us we would have to build abutments and we would have to have a curved bridge and it would have to have X amount of clearance from the river or from the
Mhm.
Snows Brook and remember that is a flood zone. So for the 100-year flood. And so there are whole bunches of
Mhm.
requirements. And quite frankly, we would have had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to put that bridge. And nobody would have liked how it looked
Mhm.
because it would ruin the character of
Yeah.
what's there.
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
You've got stone abutments and concrete.
right.
I mean, go look at the
Drawbridge.
bridge that's across the Mad River. That we had.
For all the ships going through.
I know.
And compared to what was there before.
that.
And that's the type of
Mhm.
bridge that you would have to
Mm.
build.
Okay.
So,
Deb has a comment?
Could you consider some sort of alternative, like the stepping stones that go across? Yes.
Yeah, the.
It would be nice, but they require so much maintenance. Every couple of years, we're hiring the crew to
Yeah.
redo it. It's a lot of money
Well, the river flows a lot faster
Mhm.
there
There.
than it would
over
by
here.
the snowy
we
island.
did talk about stone,
Mhm.
stepping stones across there. The problem is, unlike the Mad River Trail,
Mm.
there's not a really good turn down
Mm.
in
Right.
that site.
Yeah.
So you'd have a lot of improvements on
Yeah.
both bankings.
Okay.
that You would,
Yeah.
not that it can't be done, but
Mhm.
it would still cost quite a bit. And when contractors looked at it for the size of machine that you can get in there, they were a little hesitant to
Mhm.
construct it. We did talk to them when we
Zip
did,
line.
redid the village trail.
What about off the beaten path that does the AIA trail now that put those actual stones in?
We did talk to them, we certainly can. You
Yeah,
know, where.
what I'm getting at is,
The
what I'm
town
getting-
is supportive of
Mhm.
doing that if.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't like we don't want people crossing there, it's just how to get it done. If New Boston has a way to
Mhm.
put a wooden bridge over there, but.
Probably
DS
not
basically
likely.
Said multiple times, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So,
Does that group do footbridges too, or just stones?
yeah, well, what I'm getting at, they don't have to bring in heavy equipment,
yeah, no, I get it, yeah,
so they, he knows.
Okay,
yeah, we can work with them if they wanna propose something.
Well, maybe we'll put that on the AIA's agenda. Talk about it.
Yeah, I don't get it. Why is DES, I mean, a wooden bridge across there? We're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. If the town is willing to risk it and then have it wash out, that's the town's loss. Why is DES so adamant about making this?
Because of the
Unbreakable last-
dam, because of the dam and the flood zone. So that whole area
Yeah,
from the dam to Snowsbrook Road
yeah,
is a flood zone,
sure.
okay? And it's part of our emergency plan and remediation program, right? That has to do with the dam being a high hazard
Okay,
dam. If it's a wooden bridge and it gets washed away, it then plugs the
okay.
culvert underneath Snowsbrook Road, that backs up water and
Yeah.
condos on both sides.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of different components to looking at that area. It's not like an open piece of the Mad River where there are no buildings
Okay.
and nothing like that.
So we need a water soluble bridge.
We need more something. We need it. But that's why they would make us build abutments and have. a
Yeah.
There's a
curved
certain
bridge
logic to
that's
that, which
Really,
is what I didn't see, so
Yeah.
thank you.
so,
Yeah, I've seen plenty of bridges in, where's it? Frederick, Maryland, where it's high enough that it wouldn't impede the water
well,
flow.
right, but in order to do that, you have to have runouts,
Mhm,
right, to.
to the
To
ground, right.
build up, and then
Mhm,
now you're going back up the hill towards the conference center.
Yeah.
On one side, and you're
Yeah.
going back towards
Snow
the
Hill.
Snowy Owl on the other side, and you gotta relocate
all right,
the trail. I mean, it just gets
Okay.
complicated.
Yeah. all right.
The higher the bridge is.
Too
All
bad
right,
we
we'll-
can't do
we'll
some
start
kind
our
of little
research.
Page that you would.
I'll
Yeah,
call-
no,
Well, it's got three rope monkey bridge.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
road
that-
bridge.
That's okay.
Monkey bridge.
Yeah.
There you go.
It can't be that complicated.
I wanna see your,
Cars. Yeah, road swing across, yeah.
or a rope swing, that would be good too.
Zip
Wonderful.
line.
Put a,
Okay,
We could do a zip
on
line
either side
across
with
there.
some-
Oh, that,
yeah.
you're having too much fun.
Yeah.
Just saying, I got plenty of ideas. to get
Yeah.
across.
Love it.
Boy Scout troops.
Zip
coming
line.
across
Okay.
that.
Zip line.
All right, is there any privilege of the floor, any further discussion? All right, we'll table everything else that we mentioned and the date of the next meeting, I'm going to change that choice to May 17th. Can everyone do May 17th?
I think so. Same
Are you
time,
away?
same place.
I'm here.
Okay,
Are we
all right,
fortunate?
Yeah. yeah, we'll be gone May 10th.
Okay.
So. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Right.
Or do I do that?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Uh,
All in favor?
I.
Sorry.
I had
Thank you very much.
too many
Okay.
people staring me.
Oh,
Paul, I
Thank you,
hope you
Sharon.
enjoyed your first
thank you.